Hey everyone, welcome back to episode 2 of my hardcore Minecraft playthrough. I just added some bulk storage here for like stone and dirt and all that other stuff. And once I finished that, I went to go look for some sugarcane because I still didn't have any yet. You probably also noticed that my render distance is pretty insane, and that's because I added a couple more mods. I added the Distant Horizons mod and mouse tweaks and a inventory sorting mod, so now I can just middle click to sort chests. Now I wanted to go down and get some diamonds, so I stopped at the iron strip mine to show you guys what that looks like so far. Which hopefully by the end of this episode we will never have to use that anymore. Now that we're back down at this giant cave, I decided to just go down with water. I also added a spot to put a ladder up once I remove the water later. I'm just gonna explore the cave here for a bit, and then I'll probably continue down to minus 58 to start a diamond strip mine. And there goes our first zombie. Because I got a bed early on, I haven't really had to deal with too many mobs yet. And because I was filming this around Halloween, some of them had pumpkins on their head. I also decided to craft a shield now as well in case I come across a creeper. I have a little bit more protection. After I set up the start of the diamond strip mine, I went back up to make some chests to start collecting materials for an iron farm and a villager breeder. I didn't know if I had everything yet, so I decided to make some chests to see what I could put in them so far. I also end up adding a third chest to make a bamboo infinite smelter as well, but I won't be able to do that until I venture into the nether for quartz to make observers. It's one thing I'm not a fan of in the latest updates is the new ore distribution makes it really hard to find a lot of coal, so I decided to start collecting materials for this infinite smelter. Speaking of coal, because it's so hard to find now, I decided to go find some spruce trees so that I can do the 2x2 trees to make charcoal back at base. While I was out doing that, I also went to look for bamboo, and I also found some cocoa beans. So now I'll be able to make those delicious cookies. I also chopped down a jungle tree as well so that I could start collecting all of the saplings. Eventually I'll want all the tree types so that I can build with pretty much everything. I also just realized it in editing, but I should have been chopping these down with a sword. I forgot that a sword is way faster on bamboo. That chicken in the background is like, wow, this guy's not using a sword. After I grabbed all that stuff, I went back to base and threw what I got in the chests. Then went back down in the strip mine, and as I was digging into the third tunnel here, we found our first diamonds. And now that I have diamonds, I can mine obsidian, so I'll probably venture into the nether in the next episode. Since for this episode I'm more focusing on a iron farm and a villager breeder. Looks like we lucked out here and got a whole vein of 8 diamonds, which is pretty cool. It's enough so that we can make a enchantment table and a pickaxe. I definitely want to start enchanting sooner rather than later so that I have a lower chance of dying. Another thing I want to build fairly soon is possibly a guardian farm for XP, because as of right now all I'm getting XP from is mining, smelting, and breeding the animals in the animal pens. Another farm I kind of want to focus on sooner rather than later is a slime farm, but that probably won't be for a few more episodes at least. Now I just went to grab some sand for some glass so I can use it in the iron farm and villager breeder. Then went back down into the iron strip mine to get some more iron and came across an amethyst geode, so now we can get amethyst shards and duplicate a laze later. It also allows us to make a spyglass, which I find pretty helpful. Since I'm not using Optifine, I'm using sodium for performance instead of Optifine. Once I finished that, I finally had enough iron to craft the rails there, so now we can start on the villager breeder. I decided to use a design from Zinji's channel, so if you guys ever want to build this, you can check out his channel for the tutorial. This villager breeder is just a manual one, so you have to feed the villagers, but I kind of like that because then you can control how many villagers you're getting and it doesn't get out of hand. It's a pretty simple design and it's done now, so I went to go grab the villagers. Which, for anyone that doesn't know, if you put the villagers in a boat first and then the minecart, it'll force them to move, so you don't need any power rails. And now that the villagers are up there, I decided to go look for a name tag, because I'm going to need one for the iron farm. So I decided to do that with treasure maps. And another trick for treasure maps, if you find the chunk that the X is in and go to the northwest corner of the chunk and go in 10 blocks diagonally and then dig down on the 10th block, that's where the chest is every time. Pretty sure that is only the case for Java Edition. I think Bedrock it's 9 blocks, but I could be wrong. And as for our first treasure map here, we did not have any luck with a name tag, so I moved on to the next treasure map. And I just did the same thing on the next treasure map. I found the chunk and went in 10 blocks from the northwest corner of the chunk. And there it is. And this one also did not have a name tag, so on to the third treasure map we go. At least I'm getting some nice iron and gold and a couple diamonds. And also a couple hearts of the sea for conduits. Now we have our third treasure map. You know what they say, third time's the charm, right? Well, nope. Didn't find one in this one either. But we are getting nice loot, so I wasn't too upset. Then after this one, I remembered that there was a mine shaft in the giant cave on the way to the diamond strip mine. So I decided to head back to that cave and check out the mine shaft. I figured I could probably find a name tag in here quicker because there's a bunch of chests and minecarts, and also a good chance of finding dungeons with spawners and chests in them too. The only thing I was worried about going through here was the poison spiders. So I was hoping I could find a name tag before I find a bunch of those. Early on here though, I did find a spider spawner with some chests in it, so I ended up looting those, and there was no name tag in that either, but we got a disc and a couple other good items. And after that, I finally found the name tag. It was just around the corner from the dungeon. Once I found the name tag, I decided to head right back up and craft an anvil, and then name the name tag for our future zombie for the iron farm. Took me a while to think of a name, but I came up with a pretty good one, as you can see here. I'm sure the zombie will appreciate that name. And now that we finally had a name tag, I could start building the iron farm. We had all the materials now, so I grabbed them all out of the chest and then started building. And as for the iron farm design, it's from K1 Inc., but I followed the Shulker Craft tutorial. But K1 Inc. was the original designer, so if you guys want to check out that, it's on his channel. I'll leave you guys with a little build time lapse here while I finish this up. We're pretty much done now. I'm just gonna do this top layer where the iron golems get funneled into the lava and then their drops get put into the hoppers. And because I'm out of iron right now, I only have 2 hoppers there. There's supposed to be 5, so I'll just let the farm run for a bit and collect enough iron to finish off those hoppers. And then also to make the farm lossless, you also need to put hoppers on the outside of the walls as well, where the water flows, because sometimes the iron flows out underneath the wall and falls out on the other side of the hopper. So if you guys build this, you'll probably want to add those as well. Yeah, just let the iron accumulate for a bit and then added the rest of the hoppers in. Once I have more iron and redstone components, I'll add in a full sorting system that sorts the iron and poppies. And that's about it for this episode. In the next episode, I'll probably be focusing on making a honey farm and a villager trading hall. Yeah, thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you next time.